These are the assembly instructions for my Christmas wiper card. The blue pieces are my base pieces. The rectangular piece is the base of my card. And then I have the dimensional part of my card, and I've just folded down on all the score lines for it. So then I have this long strip with 2 tabs on either end. I folded down on the score lines for it. And then I have this small rectangle, and it just has one little corner that's folded down. Then I have 3 decorative panels. I drew with the pen feature the brick pattern that's on these pieces. I have the small rectangle that goes right below the score line on the dimensional piece. So I have this piece that looks like the upside down T. I'm putting glue all over it. I'm adhering it right below that rectangular panel that I've just glued in. Now there should be a little tiny border all the way around both of these pieces. And I have this piece, and I'm just gluing it down to my base. So now I'm putting glue on the back of this piece. It's cut out of white 80-pound cardstock, and I'm just adhering it to the top to make it look like snow. I've folded down on the tab at the bottom of my card. I'm putting it exactly on the bottom of my base piece, so I want it to be even on both sides and at the bottom. And as I do that, I'm putting glue on the top tab, so from the score line to the edge of my tab. I'm just making sure that bottom tab is exactly where it needs to be. So it's folded under so that the panel is right against the bottom and the 2 side edges. And then I folded that tab so that it's underneath here somewhere. And I'm just applying a little bit of pressure, waiting for that to dry. So that tab is glued to my card base. So then I'm taking my long strip, the one with the 2 tabs on either end, and I'm putting glue all over one tab. I'm folding my piece up so I can see that score line quite nicely. I'm positioning the edge of my tab right along the score line. So the score line that's just above this tab. I glued this strip to the center of this panel. Next, I'm taking that small rectangular piece and I'm putting glue on that triangular shape so it's from the score line to the edge and it forms a triangle. And I'm gluing this in so that the bottom of the triangle is right against the score line. The bottom of my piece is even with the tab that I've just glued down. And when you fold it over, it folds in like so. I'm keeping it down in that folded position. So you want to put glue from the score line to the edge of the tab on both sides. And then you want to put glue on the bottom tab on the end of that long strip that we've just glued in, just on the bottom tab. And then you want to fold down on your card. So you're folding down, making sure everything is nice and straight. And you don't want your tab folded under here. Just flatten out the rest of your card. Now we just have that bottom tab. I'm putting glue all over the bottom tab. I'm tucking it under and folding my card flat, like so. So when you open up the card, so next I have my embellishment. This is the base for my window pieces. I cut 2 of them to make them a little bit sturdier. I'm just putting glue on one of them and gluing these 2 panels together. And then I've cut the window itself out of vellum. So I've just flipped my window frame over, just covering the back with glue and then gluing my vellum. Cut the window pieces out of foil craft board. And I'm putting glue again just along the frame of my window. With vellum, you want to be very careful because the glue, no matter what kind of glue you use, it seems to show through. So I'm just gluing that to the center of my panel. So now I can cover the back of my window with glue and glue it to the base. Since my candles are so tiny, I cut them out of vinyl and I'm just putting them in the corner of my window. And the flames were also cut out of vinyl. I'm gonna have my black cat and I'm gonna glue him down to the window as well. And I'm just gluing my window to my card. I'm going to have my snow that goes at the bottom of my card. And then I have my Christmas tree. So I've got a piece of foam tape that I'm putting underneath the peak of the tree. There's a little bit of dimension to my card. It'll help it stick to the cards. And I'm just gluing on the star at the top. And then I have a few snowflakes. Now I've cut the snowflakes out of 80-pound cardstock. I use my Maker 3 on the intricate cut setting, and look at how good those, that's a really phenomenal cut. So I've cut up my Happy Holiday sentiment out of vinyl. So I've got my base layer that I've cut out of more of that foil craft board, and then I have a green layer on top, and then I have my red sentiment. Then I have my panels for the back. So this is where you would write a note and sign your card. So I have 3 layers, and I'm just going to glue them to the back. So I've just adhered my sentiment on the top of that blue rectangle that pops out, like so. And I want it just along the edge of the top of that blue rectangle. So then when you close your card, and it collapses right behind that panel and you can't see it. And then I just added some Nuvo drops. These are the stone drops in white, and I just added them to the window pane